Well, I quit without notice. I've only been at this job for a week. My very first day at 3:15 p.m. I told them, I have to leave to pick up my child. They looked at me like I had 3 heads. I reminded them that I made it very clear during the interview process that I would need to be out ideally at 2:30 p.m. no later than 3 p.m., which they agreed to during the interview. Every day since then I have felt extremely uncomfortable and on edge. I have left relatively on time, but I just felt that it was going to be an issue moving forward. My old job reached out to see if I wanted to take my former position back at $2.50 more an hour than what I was making with the place I left today, with scheduling being what I need. Of course, I said yes. Went to reasonably speak to the manager of the new job. His reaction was less favorable. He proceeded to tell me how this is the second time this year this has happened. He told me how frustrating it is, which I told him I completely understand, but this is what's best for me and my family. With his reaction, and the way I've felt the last week, it was best to cut ties right then. The manager then proceeded to give me a short lecture on professionalism in front of the staff. How it makes the person who referred me for the job look bad. My response to this was, well, it should not, because this is my decision and my decision alone. I feel like I handled the situation as professionally as I could. They wouldn't have given me 2 weeks notice if they wanted to find a reason to fire me, especially during a 90-day probationary period. If it keeps happening to them, it's them. They should know this by now. Congratulations on getting out and getting a raise. They wanted you to give notice during a probationary period? Lol. Like you say, they wouldn't have given you 2 weeks. Wow, that's quite a saga for just a week on the job. Sounds like you made the right move though, especially with the old job offering more money and a better schedule. Leaving without notice might not be the ideal exit, but if the new job isn't a good fit, it's better to prioritize your well-being. Good luck with your former position and the improved circumstances. Boss. This is the second time this year we've had this. Grr. Me. Well then, perhaps y'all need to pay more and quit treating people like you think they're your slave. I'm sorry. The truth hurts. Should have walked when he started in on his professionalism lecture. He wouldn't respect your time. Why respect his? I quit after my first shift at McDonald's because of this. I had to leave by 2 because my ex had my son and would be leaving for work at 2:30. And my other son was at school. I asked an hour, then 30 minutes and 15 minutes before I left if I had anything I need to do before leaving because I had to clock out on time. They kept telling me no. Then 5 minutes before I was set to leave they tried to give me a list of tasks. I said, nope, I have to leave. They didn't like that. If they were of the sort to be kind and understanding about why you were quitting, you likely wouldn't be quitting. You made it clear during the interview what time you needed to leave. The only unprofessional ones were the people who thought they could get you in the job and then make you do the hours they wanted. I wonder what they would have done if you publicly called them out on their lack of professionalism, like they tried to do to you? Best to walk away. Sounds like they are going to do this to every applicant. During my career, I've laughed in the face of several of those lectures. Turned the hairdryer treatment on during others, including shushing a VP with, adults are talking. We'll get to the clown show in a moment. You did nothing wrong. If I was your boss at the new job, I'd appreciate that you left sooner rather than later once you knew it wasn't going to work. I've spent hundreds of hours training new employees, and it's frustrating after you've spent a month showing them how to run all the equipment and how not to walk into a propeller or jet engine when they know they're on the way out. Also, I wouldn't have made you uncomfortable about your schedule arrangement that I had already agreed to. But mainly the first part. I did that at a temp job. I had applied for a machinist position and got brought in to weld instead. I was waiting for another position to open up and they knew it was going to be temporary anyway. My supervisor said it was pretty unprofessional of me to leave them in the lurch like that. I told him I have to do what is best for me and my family, and if he needed me to, I could pack up my tools and head out immediately. I guess someone else said something to him about it and he came over, apologized and wished me luck. Out of my hundreds of jobs in my life, I gave notice one time. Next time, quit via a WhatsApp message and proceed to block the manager's number to avoid the lecture. You sound like a grown person to be given one of those, especially with the circumstances you've just described. You can quit a job at any time. The 2 weeks of notice is a courtesy only. Sounds like you made the right call. Good for you. You have to look out for yourself because nobody else will. Congrats on the raise. It's not me, it's you. Second time this year. LMFAO. Looks like someone has noticed a trend. Perhaps this manager could take his lesson on professionalism and reflect upon it. Emotional blackmail is incredibly unprofessional, weak, and embarrassing. The phrase is massively overused. But you definitely dodged a bullet. You gave him the professionalism he deserved. Congratulations on your new job. I just quit mine last month without notice. It felt great. Open mouth smile, thumbs up. I remember getting scolded for taking time off after a Packers game. I stated how my wife and I already bought tickets and I was a heavy drinker at the time. In the interview I said I wanted the day after off. It was a Monday night game IIRC. My boss complained that someone else made it to work just fine. I said, I asked for this day off. I didn't want to work hungover. Then when I left to get myself taken care of mentally, the place called the cops on me for a mental health check.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.